I'm retro, let's get it. We in the chop shop, we live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, we live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the chop shop. Yeah, it's lit in the chop shop. Turn your dials up in the drop top. They ain't based to debate, but they keep it fact straight. Going 30 for 30, let's do a first take on Facebook Live from 12 to 2. Rob Hatter and Jim Hicks going back and forth like Carter Ray and Skip Bayless and Stephen Smith. From on the court, off the court, straight to the field. Not a man that steals, but I made it steal. To the octagon where I fight to kill. We go face to face, then you write your will. I don't play tennis, but I bring the racket. I'm on the floor, I attack the basket. Put you in the casket when I'm overlapping. Never showing mercy, cause I'm always snapping. Never showing mercy when I'm in the arena. Step into the ring, you see me as I beat him. Step into the court, I'm never backing down. Killing competition, I'm smacking down. Let me get back to the other stuff at the chop shop, cause they cutting up. It's retro, coming to you live to the chop shop. Now let's turn it up. Yeah, we in the chop shop, man. Shout out to Jim Hicks and Rob Hatter. You can catch the chop shop live from 12 to 2 on Facebook Live. Let's get it. We in the chop shop, we live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, we live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the chop shop.
H-Town, what's up? You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas, but we're broadcasting all over the world via Facebook Live and YouTube Live. And our starting five for the day, Jimmy, let me see. I see, and our starting five, usually I recognize these are the first five people that pop up on the Facebook and the YouTube feed. We got T.R. Holmes. I haven't seen T.R. in a long time. Dr. John Newsom, Mindy Collins, Corey Willis, and Wesley Yates Jr. And Wesley Yates Jr., what's going on, man? I was watching, I was looking at the tweets yesterday, and I think Wesley Yates Jr. got a young man that played basketball. We'll talk about that a little bit because I remember that name. Cause I might not have been there, but I was watching the tweets. I mean, we got a great weekend of sports. We have the amateur sports, but I want to start this show out, everybody. Happy Monday, Tori and Rick Timms. But what happened in Kenosha, Wisconsin? I don't know if y'all know. We got a guy on our show that's a frequent guest on the feed, on the Chop Shop feed. His name is Brandon Morris, and he lives in Kenosha, Wisconsin. He's one of the, he's a friend of the Chop Shop. And what happened last night, they should lead every TV broadcast across the country tomorrow, today, and every day until something's done. Police officer shot this man in his own car in front of his kids. It was pitiful. It was enraging. And in the famous words of Jimmy Hicks, pay attention. It's confirmed that the man's name is, he haven't died, but his name is Jacob Blake. His 3 sons were in the car he was getting into when the police shot him. These young kids saw a cop shoot their father. They will be traumatized forever, ladies and gentlemen. We cannot let these officers violate their duty to protect us. Our kids deserve better. And I had to start this show off with that. Our kids deserve better. Come on, man. Come on. You know, he that threatening that 7 times? Come on, man. But another thing, we'll talk about that if y'all want to chime in on that. Now we understand. You got to understand. In case you didn't understand, this is why Colin Kaepernick was kneeling. Had nothing to do with the flag. This is why these people are protesting. Had nothing to do with the flag. It's just that people just, after all of this, you can still put 4 or 5 cops can still pull out their pistol and shoot at an unarmed man. Just don't understand it. But y'all, yesterday in sports and NBA, a star was born in the NBA last night. You know, there'll be a lot of discussion. Y'all might want us to play the Slovenia national anthem today, but Luka Magic is real. But I'm curious. I'm just curious. Where does he go from here with that? So we, Jimmy, know we got a lot of stuff. I know we got some high school stuff. You had the Rucker on the Wood this weekend, and first time I missed it in years. And I just want to, I'm excited because, I get the tweets, but I want to know the atmosphere. What was going on at the Rucker on the Woods? And I think we'll talk about that a little later. Whatever. So, but remind parents, we're gonna talk about the Ruck on the Wood because I'm in the dark. I want to hear what happened. I want to hear who's gonna be one of my favorite players this year. And it sounds like Wesley Yates is the front runner already. So and Jimmy, I'm telling you, I forgot who texted to me, and I got it in my notes, but. It might have been Big Doug. He said Wesley Yates has cemented himself as one of the top players or the top player in his class. So I got that name out the way. So what else going on, man? What you got?
You got fired up. Yeah. And, we normally talk the amateur hoops in the back nine. Normally, because there's so much stuff happens in society and in the professional ranks over the weekend, and we try to, we want to go and get that because once we get started on amateur basketball, then we don't know which way. It's like trying to cover an onside kick. You don't know which way the ball is going to bounce with the stuff I'm talking about. So what we do is
I just highlighted it.
We keep our word, and that way it gives people time to let people know. We will dive right into this Rucker on Wood and recap a lot of thoughts and go into the mailbag, some other stuff we left on the table. We promise you from Thursday. We'll at the top of the hour. Top of the hour, we're going to dive right into it. So make sure if your kid played in Rucker on Wood or you played on one of your summer grassroots teams and was there, or if you were there, or if you know somebody that was there, let them know. Come on. Top of the hour, chime in with the atmosphere.
I want to hear from them. I want to hear from the
first,
people.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that we will do. Now, NBA. First, give you guys. Let's go and get some baseball out the way. And Astros 3-game losing streak. But on the footnote, if you want to look at it like this. Like Dusty Baker said after the presser on yesterday, hell, San Diego Padres is the hottest team in baseball right now. Them dudes hitting that. Remember, like you love the Dodgers, like Manny Machado. He was with the Dodgers last year. He signed and took like a 10-year deal with the Padres. So him and Fernando Tatis, both that anchors that lineup. Them young boys, man. I mean, they were just they got timely hitting, and the Astros, we are just, we're just threading along, playing some good 500 ball. We won 8 straight, then lost 3 straight, so that's a +5 over the past 11 games. The Dodgers are still, they are 21. I think they've won 21 games this season. The Yankees are no longer in first place. Now the Yankees are feeling the Astros effect. Meaning they can use that same excuse, whereas numerous guys on the injured reserve. I think the Dodgers, Aaron Judge is out, Stanton is out. I mean, those are just 2, and those are their biggest sticks. on the injury reserve. The Dodgers, remember, you can't, their best pitcher started the season on the injury reserve. So injuries, it's a fragmented season right now, but the Dodgers are playing good ball. Mookie Betts is playing
Jimmy,
MVP.
They've won 22. Before you go there, they've won 22 games. Thank you, Rob.
Okay,
Wells.
I said 21. I said 21. I'm just going off top of the dome.
Okay.
So 22 games, and which the most wins in baseball. I think they only lost 8, something like that. And but one thing about it, that's the National League. Once again, all eyes are going to be in America. That American League is looking really, really strong. Atlanta, I think, is surging in they're in first. But that American League is seriously strong compared to the potency. I'm not talking about 1 versus 1. I'm talking about your number 4 team in the American League versus number 4 team in National League. This American League is a monster. Think about it. The Oakland A's have resurfaced as a team. They've replaced what the California or the Los Angeles Angels should have been or was expected to be. They spent all that money on all these players, the Angels. That's what the Oakland A's are right now. Then you got New York. Then you got Houston still sitting up in there. Minnesota Twins, we talk about them there. Oh, that's American League, man. So it's going to get fun. They may do a bubble, Hatter. They may do a bubble in baseball once the playoffs start. This bubble thing, and so it's taking off. So
everybody going to catch it during the season, then they're going to go and just – okay.
Well, hey, think about it like this, though. Understand, baseball, due to the fact that that's one of the few sports that you see back-to-back, you can play on back-to-back days. Remember, just last week, another team had positive cases. And over the weekend, the Yankees were supposed to play the Subway Series with the Mets. They canceled it. And you know what they're doing? They just keep on going and fixing it as they go. Cancel some games, and what they do is, at the end of the season, you're not going to make up those games. They just going to go by winning percentage as a tiebreaker. So that means now your winning percentage, not to win. So wins don't mean as much, guys. That means they're not going to punish you, from what I understand. And one of you guys may correct me. They're not going to get punished as so on the tiebreaker because of the COVID. There was no blueprint for this stuff. But several teams have had games canceled in recent weeks or since the season started. It's going to be interesting how they do this stuff. Speaking of Major League Baseball, not Major League Baseball, baseball, Little League World Series, ESPN has locked them in renewed the deal to keep Little League World Series on that network for another 10 years. So that's to 2030 with the Little League World Series. So now slide on over. Are we at the break yet, Hatter? We'll be at the break. Then we talk some NBA.
We got a minute. Yeah.
So what we do is when we come back, guys, we can crank up and get the NBA juices flowing. Let's recap some of the happenings from this past weekend, some of the upsets, and a couple of teams have swept, but the team that did the sweeping, only one of those may be a shocker, maybe one. The rest of them not so. And we'll talk about the Rockets. We'll talk about the both Western and Eastern Conference and all that. Get yourselves ready. Yeah. It's going to be one hell of a talk. And guess what? And I can't wait till we come back and talk this NBA talk because it is going to be intriguing on how guys want that. They want the attention. Then once the attention comes up on them, then they don't want that attention no more.
I wonder who you talking about. I'm wondering.
Chop, be right back.
Okay.
Bossman. DJ Khaled. Left hand, right hand. Yeah. Put it in the sink. Front hand, back hand. Right with some soap in between. Yeah.
Wash your hands, clean them up. Wash your hands, clean them up. Wash your hands, clean them up. Wash your hands, clean them up.
Yeah. Left hand, right hand. Put it in. Put some soap in. Right hand, match it up.
Now lather.
Clean it up.
Don't dap me up,
bro. Back my ass got cleaned up. Back it up. Yeah, don't dab me up.
Yeah.
Limited daps. Limited. Baby, step back. I don't want that. Limited daps. 6 feet. Baby, step back. I don't want that.
We the cleanest.
Playoff P has been proven to work in the regular season for those who have struggled with moderate to severe postseason disappointment. It is not recommended as a first option. Do not take Playoff P while on Granger. Side effects include choking, heaving, not finishing, constipation, finishing early, and all-around disappointment. Playoff P is not for everyone. Call your doctor if you experience susceptibility to catfishing, kissy face, Australian sensitivity, paternity suits, the inexplicable urge to play for the Lakers, or thinking that dude's butt belongs to a lady. If you experience the loss of Oladipo, please call your doctor immediately. Get headed in a new direction with Playoff P.
Welcome back to the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas. And Chris Charles said we wrong. Hey, that's Playoff P. What? Hey, will somebody help me, Jimmy? Where is the origin of that name, Playoff P? Because he ain't never did nothing in the playoffs. So where did he get it? Like Charles Barkley said so eloquently. See, that's just like calling me Championship Chuck. I ain't got no championship. He ain't did nothing in the playoffs. So it's just so that was somebody sent me that Doug Jones. Somebody sent me. Doug said he's about to evacuate. What he said? Y'all be good. Got to get my people ready to evacuate. I'm still listening. Oh, okay. Doug is commenting because of the weather. I guess there's a storm brewing out in the Gulf, and it's going to hit us. So, and he said, "Y'all be safe out there, baby." Barry. So, Jimmy, dude, where you want to start, man? I mean, I got so many places. You know who I'm mad at today? I'm mad at Doris Burke.
What?
And but where you want to start?
Really?
You can
I like Doris Burke.
No, I'm mad at her right now because I know you like her because y'all think the same way. She be hating on James Harden. I know you like her. I just don't like her. I just don't like her.
I mean, I like her because she has a thin filter.
I used to be. Jimmy, let me tell you something what got me. One day, and none of this, I'm just all of this unjust. But I'll never forget they asked about changing her mind. Get what she said on air. Shoot, you can ask my ex-husband. I don't change my mind. Doris Burke is something else now. But she got this affinity, Jimmy, for James Harden. During that game, she was calling for. I hope she don't call another Rockets game. Because this little dude wasn't doing that great on James. James had 1,000, and she come talking about when the dude make one defensive play on James. I just didn't like that. And guess what? These people are human. In the way she talked, I mean, Jimmy, it's a whole thread. I went through the thread on Twitter. Twitter tearing her head off about it. How she got, and then how she so eloquently just through Philadelphia, don't fight just Brett Brown. You got to fight all of them. And one of them, all of them include Elton Brand. Let me tell you something, Jimmy. And I know we talking NBA, but Elton Brand, I love you, brother, but I can't defend you giving Tobias Harris and Al Horford all of that money. Because Jimmy, ain't nobody gonna want them. You can't trade Al Horford and Tobias Harris nowhere right now. And that's what Philadelphia is one of the teams that got swept out the playoff. Philadelphia shouldn't get swept. Jimmy, they got Joel Embiid. So, it's just so much stuff, so many moving parts in the NBA right now. Where you want to start?
Yeah, well, we go over to you. You mentioned the Playoff P thing.
Okay.
And a lot of people may not understand. I remember it vividly because it just, the Playoff P acronym or nickname was given by Paul George himself.
It's a self-proclaimed name.
Yeah, yeah. Remember when he first got to OKC, when he was with OKC, right? And he first got there. That was a couple of years ago when they were getting ready to play. I want to say Donovan Mitchell in the playoffs, and they would no. He was like, and he got to the in the presser, and he tell the reporters like, some stuff like, y'all ain't never met playoff P yet, right? Y'all about to meet playoff P.
I
And so
don't
then
remember
he
that.
goes,
I don't remember that.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
One of
remember
you guys
that.
can help me out on that if I'm wrong. Guys, I'll be right there. It might not be right. It might not be a bullseye, but it's right. Look it up. I'm not joking. And he goes and I remember he doubled down on that because he goes and he had a monster game, that night. So he looked like a swummy. So that mean after the game, you got your 15-minute cooling out period. Then you go into the press conference. He comes back like Ali. Like, didn't I tell y'all about Paul about what they call it? What he call himself?
Okay.
Playoff P. Did I tell you about Playoff P?
Okay.
Now y'all need to make that the headline tomorrow in the papers. Let them know y'all met Playoff P. Look it up. Y'all help me out on this. And that's why I go too far off the ledge. I'm not mistaken. And so then he came after he said that. He comes back and he don't necessarily lay an egg, but he turned back into normal. He turned back into Indiana P the rest of that series. Because that first game, he had a monster game. Donovan Mitchell was like a rookie or something. You know what I'm saying? He's a puppy. So you're supposed to abuse Donovan Mitchell at that point in time. But that's how playoff P came. And that's why I guess Charles Barkley made a mockery of it, because it was like you called yourself playoff P.
Self-proclaimed.
I don't call myself championship
Championship Chuck. Yeah.
So and that's the fun about it. And then so once again, that was a dog whistle for Paul George to do something about it. Kind of like what Dame Lillard, how he responded when Skip Bayless got on his butt, and he responded in a big way. That's one of the things we see professional athletes are supposed to be able to handle that. There's none that's going to go without criticism. Remember when they criticized Kevin Durant hard when he left OKC? How did he respond? NBA Finals MVP. You see what I'm saying? With a ring. Then come back and get another one. That's how you respond. You handle that. You deal with that. You keep pushing through and you perform. Some players can't handle it. Some can. But in this case,
hey, Jimmy, let me show you something. You didn't watch the game, did you? You didn't watch the game.
I was at Rock on Wood.
Okay.
Which game you talking about? Which one you talking about? Yesterday?
The playoff P game. Yeah.
Well, that was a couple of days ago.
No, the one last night.
But now this playoff piece, but the one playoff piece started last week though.
No. But I'm gonna show you how bad he was. Jimmy scored 9 points last night.
I heard.
No. In a crucial time in the game, they could have went up 4 or 5. Guess what he did? Smoked layups. Hold on, Jimmy. Then let what's the boy name? Tim Hardaway grab a rebound out of his hand and say, "Get him." This ain't, and put it right back up. Jimmy, that's why Doc Rivers in the press conference, he said something key. He said, my team was emotionally weak. Emotionally weak. Jimmy, the man, playoff P, is 10 for 47 from the floor. But Jimmy, he's supposed to be, and I wasn't mad about the 10 for 7. Because guess what? He's supposed to be a defensive player. He's supposed to be a hustler or a rebounder. But when that guy got that rebound and the clutch on him, I was done with Paul Pierce. And let me tell you something. What I love about the NBA, Jimmy, is these ebbs and flows. I remember sometimes somebody blow somebody out, then they come back and lose the whole series. So I know we're prisoners of the moment and we have recency bias. So I got to play this out because, hey, Luka, Jimmy, I like Luka. Jimmy, hey, I call him Luke. I call him Luka Vandross right now. Jimmy, I'm a prisoner of the moment now. But I can't be too much of a prisoner of the moment because I even liked him a couple of years ago. I didn't know he was gonna do this. But Jimmy, Luka throughout the season, y'all, ladies and gentlemen, Mindy, Jonathan Griffin, Rick, let me tell y'all something, Jimmy. Luka is 0 for 10 in closing out the games all season. Luka ain't never hit a game winner. He ain't never hit. He ain't never. I mean, even the Mavericks are 0 and 18 in games, Jimmy. That was in regular season where the 1 point lead or a 2 point lead or closeout. They are not a good clutch team. They are the most efficient team in the NBA. As a matter of fact, the most offensively efficient team in NBA history, their rating. But Luka shot a 30-footer, man, and made that thing. I mean, you can comment. Because I got something else I want to ask because you seem like you had something to say.
Well, I mean, I was just thinking about. I was still on playoff P.
Okay.
Before even going and getting Luka, because they're understanding something. They're 2-2 right now in this series. This is a best of 3 series now.
Yes.
And there is no physical home court advantage.
Right.
That favors the Mavericks on that part. We know that Paul George is way long overdue to have a monster game. But that game yesterday without Porzingis, I did not know that Porzingis did not play. Remember, because I was in Rucker on Wood, so did not watch the game at all. And I had no idea when people said, well, Luka hit a game winner in overtime. They were down by 20, 21 points. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. But then I realized that there was no Porzingis. That gives Dallas extreme optimism. I mean, he's only missing 1 game, right? I'm assuming.
Who, Porzingis?
Yeah. So now, mind you, remember the reason? It was a reason, but not to be mistaken for an excuse. That when the Clippers lost their first game against Dallas, they was without Patrick Beverley. And that was one of the reasons that was given. Well, man, Patrick Beverley wasn't there. Ain't nobody even saying wasn't no Patrick Beverley there. Even though he didn't play yesterday.
Beverley still ain't there.
He still ain't there. That's what I'm saying. But that's not the reason that they're giving anymore. The reason has shifted to what it really was, should have been at the first. And that is Paul George did not show up. See how it shifted now? If Paul George shows up, he don't even have to show out. He got to just show up. This is what they got him for.
Yes.
They got Paul George, and I say they meaning the Clippers, and gave away a boatload while giving this dude up. Understand, the Clippers won't have a first-round pick in about 5 of the next 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
That first-round pick is gone. That's the first-round picks mean something. Those are valuable, depending on what, especially in year to year, depending on what year you're in. Valuable. This dude, understand, the Clippers, the OKC Thunder, well, understand, they're, and we'll talk about the Rockets in a second. They beat the Rockets. They got there. They was just trying not to get swept. After the Rockets hit them with those two haymakers in game 1 and game 2, game 3. They just try not to get swept. They don't. You can tell that. You can just look at how their body language. They don't really. They know that they can't beat the Rockets even without West. They know that now. You could tell. It's kind of like watching.
I didn't get that, but I didn't get that.
It's like watching the Celtics play against the Sixers. You could feel it. Now, meanwhile, here's what OKC got coming, Hal.
Why you get from you finished with the Clippers?
Paul George. This is what they got coming as a result from Paul George.
Okay.
From the Paul George trade.
Okay.
Right? They already picked up the guy who hit the game winner against the Rockets. Right? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They got a Gallinari. Right? They get the Clippers first round pick in 2022, right? Now they get Miami's and the Clippers pick in 23. They get the Clippers pick first round pick in 24. They get the Clippers first round pick in 20 and a swap. That means wherever I'm at and wherever you are, we swap picks in 25. In 26, they get the Clippers first round pick. Guys, so right now, you OKC. That's a five. No, it's a process.
And
Trust in the process.
Now guess what? Lawrence Frank and Jerry West and them signed off on that now. Lawrence Frank.
It was 4 teams. It wasn't just the Clippers that signed off.
I'm talking about they are the brain trust for the Clippers. It's not Doc Rivers, the coach. Jerry West and Lawrence Frank are the brain trust who decides those kind of things right there. So I'm just trying to just explain to you about giving up all them picks. Who was responsible for? Somebody had to sign off of that. So if you're gonna mention it, I got to let you know somebody had to sign off of that. And
but then the public sentiment bought it though when it was done. Remember, Alan. Remember a year ago when that deal went down, the NBA Summer League was taking place. Remember? It was Las Vegas. And remember, Lou Will had just, telling Lord knows what Lou Will just got to doing the night before.
He missed, you wouldn't watch the game. He missed the free throw that could have ended the game in regulation. Chicken Wayne missed the free throw. He had 3 free throws, could have iced the game, and missed the last one. That's why we went into overtime. Keep going.
Oh, so he made 2 or 3.
2 of them. He missed the last one. Yes.
Well, I'm gonna take you guys back a year ago during the summer league game. That's when the deal was done. Patrick Beverly and Lou Will
at the game.
They caught them walking out the game, and they was like, and Patrick Beverly, they were doing this, like we done just pulled off the coup. We got Paul George with this Clipper team. Watch next year. It's gonna be a party. It's going to be a movie, whatever he said.
Paul George is that kind of talent. But he need to go to the Wizard, Jimmy, and get his heart. Jimmy, he is that talent. Let me explain something to everybody. And I got to walk you through something. If you're a favorite in this league and you just don't blow out a real talented underdog team, if you look at the paper and you look at everybody, you're no good. You ain't this. You ain't this. I mean, if you're the favorite, the favorite, and you don't just blow out a talented underdog team, you ain't nothing. Like y'all talking about them now, playoff peak. But let me tell you, we forget that the Heatles, I call them the Heat when Bosh and LeBron and Wade was on, I call them the Heatles. Instead of the Beatles, they was the Heatles. LeBron was the best player in the world and all of that. Bosh was a top 10 player. D. Wade was a top player. In their first title, Jimmy Hicks, Melvin Dews, Kimberly Jackson, they trail in 3 different playoff series. Let me repeat that. In their first title, with all of them bad dudes on the phone, 3 Hall of Famers on the team. I'm sorry, not on the phone, on the team. Kimberly Jackson, they trail in 3 different playoff series that year. Just what? And the Clippers are tied after 4 games, and the world is ending. Let's stop, y'all. Stop. We have just stopped. Some of y'all act like y'all just started watching NBA basketball. These first-round playoff matchups, Jimmy, a series get tough for great teams. Sometimes it get tough for great teams. I put one for you. Let me take you back in history. You know how I like to look at history. Y'all remember the 2008 Celtics? That team was one of the last greatest teams They had a great year that year. Kevin Garnett. They won 67 games, and they won the championship that game. Let me help you out, Jeremy Davis, Jay Miles, and all. Let me help you, Derek Lane. Let me help you. They were pushed to 7 games by the Atlanta Hawks in the first round. Paul Pierce, Kevin Durant, Kevin Garnett, Rondo, who else? Ray Allen. They got pushed to 7 games in the first. They won a championship. The Hawks were the 8th seed, Jimmy. So I'm just trying to help people a little bit, Jeremy, right here. Okay. All right, Jim. Got 4 potential Hall of Famers on that team, and they went to 7 games in the first round. Okay. Doc Rivers, one of the best coaches. He on that team. Hold up. I got another one. I got another series that the Heat that year. They went to 7 games, and they first, the Heatles. In that same year, they went 7 games in the first round. Last year, y'all, just Jeremy Johnson, just last year, the Raptors trailed in 3 different series last year. See, I told y'all we got recency bias. The Raptors, they trailed Jimmy in 3 series last year. And guess what? They won the championship. See, in this bubble, there's no home court advantage. Let me tell you something. Luka hit a 30-foot jumper. Luka had just missed 3 shot. Jimmy, you wasn't watching the game. He had just shot 3 air balls from 3, Jimmy. Let me repeat that. In the last 3 minutes, Kawhi said, I got him. Luka didn't score a point, Jimmy, in the last 3 minutes of regulation. We got to go to a break too, Jim. But this game, Luka ain't good for him out there. He's a bad 3-point shooter. He ain't hit a game winner ever. But when he was overseas, that was Real Madrid. Now he hit one over there. I showed it earlier. So I'm just telling people, don't be alarmed, y'all. Don't be alarmed. I mean, right now, he ain't won it yet. But they trying, hey, Jim, they trying, your homeboy, Franz Fischella, did you see his tweet, Jimmy?
You gotta put that up for people to see. Somebody sent it to me yesterday afternoon. Of course, I was in Rock on Wood, and and I have it. I can. I
got it, Jim. I sent it to somebody. He said, this Franz Fischella, he said, that's one bad ass beat ass white boy right there, but he used the whole word in his tweet, right? And what he was referring to, and what I didn't like about it, he was commenting about the comment that Montrezl Harrell had. And Montrezl Harris scored and went back down the court and said, "B ass white boy." I guess he was talking to Luka or Porzingis, one of them. I don't know. And so Franz Fischella, he came back and he clapped back with that. But Jimmy, I'm gonna just show you these people with these tweets. When the Clippers lost last night and Luka hit the shot, LeBron tweeted, "Bang bang." Bang bang is what the announcer said during the game, Jimmy. What LeBron doing way about this game? Hey, y'all.
See, here's the thing. But you have to.
Oh, I know. I just got Jimmy. That was a hypothetical. Jimmy, that was hypothetical.
L.A. Clippers, L.A. Lakers. This has been since LeBron and since Kawhi. Well, since Kawhi joined the Clippers, it has been on. When it was the new king of the city, the different marketing advertisements from one sneaker company versus another. This has been on. So what happens is why it's on, whenever there's failures of the Lakers, Clipper fans are going to laugh.
Jimmy, Clipper fans, but this is a player. This is a
Clipper
player.
players, Clipper fans.
LeBron James, I think that was tasteless. He shouldn't have mentioned that, Jimmy. No. Stay out of that.
Okay, how about this?
Stay out of that.
How about this? If LeBron really hates them,
I didn't say
if he really, okay, but let's say if he does, then that's how you act. That's how you can act. You have the right to do so. So what it does is,
hey, you grown ass Negroes with these tweets, y'all kill me. But keep going.
What
Negroes
happens is,
with these tweets.
LeBron is one that has proven that he can take it. He can take it. Now, it's made him wobble a little bit through the years, but he can take whatever criticism they're going to give LeBron.
So
right now, he can take it.
So you over here, okay, so you mean you over here in a fight that your ass ain't won yet. You in a fight that you over here in a fight that you haven't even won yet. And you over here come in over the fight I'm in over here?
Yeah, misery loves company.
Hey, what's that? Get out of here.
Hey, we talking about the greatest player alive. I mean, that's it, the greatest player in uniform. The greatest player of this generation is in progress right now. And guess what?
So, because he's the greatest player, that means he can tweet whatever he want to? Huh?
You got choices and consequences.
Yeah, okay.
Choices and
consequences. And guess what? I don't agree with it. I don't like, if I'm in a fight over here, because he ain't got out of that fight over there yet. And he over here worried about this fight over here.
Hey, after tonight, it's going to be, what, 3-1 tonight with the Lakers? It'll be 3-1 tonight.
Okay.
3-1 tonight, and then guess what?
What if he get beat tonight?
If he gets beat tonight, then he becomes in the same position Kawhi Leonard is in. It's a 3-game series with no home court advantage physically. And then guess what? Now one can't laugh at the other. Then it becomes time. Now, once again, who's going to get on through the series? And you get from that, because now all the games and all the fun and games over with. It's time to get really, really serious. These guys.
I think you miss what I'm saying. You miss what I'm saying. I'm not worried about nobody else's fight. I'm not worried about nobody else's fight. I'm worried about my fight.
No, that's not necessarily true. That's LeBron did what LeBron.
You didn't hear me. No. Listen to me. I said I'm not. It is true because it's coming from me. It's true. It's coming from me, not from you.
Oh,
I said
hell.
I'm not worried about nobody else's fight. I'm not finna be over here in a fight, about to get my ass whooped, and I'm over here tweeting, bang, bang. No, I ain't doing that. I'm not doing it.
Okay. Well, don't the same thing goes?
I'm not doing it.
Hold on. Okay, but what's the difference?
I said, I'm not doing, Jimmy, you missing the point. I'm not doing it.
What's the difference in you being a Dodger fan and worried about and laughing at the Astros when they lose?
I ain't never tweeted nothing about the Astros.
Oh, that's a tweet. It's the difference. You saying it and you doing it. What's the difference?
I'm not LeBron James, man.
Being a Yankees fan and you laugh when the Astros lose.
Jimmy, I'm not a player on the team, Jimmy.
If you were
I'm not a player on the team. I'm not commenting on nobody's team on Twitter. Maybe I'm not a Twitter guy. See, maybe it's the Twitter problem.
Okay. So what's about the players from the Yankees and the players from the Dodgers and the players from the Oakland A's who plays on those teams? Why are they so worried every time the Astros lose when the season
first started? Because they cheated on them. Because they caught them cheating.
Oh.
LeBron ain't caught these people cheating over here.
Jimmy,
your parallels are horrible. Jimmy, your comparisons are horrible.
So they had a reason then, right? So they had a reason. Well, albeit cheating. They had a reason then, right? So how you know LeBron ain't got a reason that he don't have a reason for the Clippers being in that city and what they did and you Under Armour
soft move
claim
Kawhi
Leonard as the new king of LA.
Soft move to me. Soft move to me. Jimmy, I can say whatever I want. This man, I don't know how many fouls he got. I just think it's tasteless and ain't nothing you can do to convince me. But I know we got to go to a break. We got to go to a break, but we'll be back in a minute. And hey, I want to hear y'all comments. I love y'all little comments out there. I'm laughing at y'all right now. Here we go.
Bossman. DJ Khaled. Left hand, right hand. Yeah. Put it in the sink. Front hand, back hand. Right with hand. Some soap in between. Yeah.
Wash your hands, clean them up. 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 Yeah.
Left hand, right hand. Put it in. Put some soap. Yeah. Right hand, match it up.
Now lather.
Clean it up.
Don't dap me up,
bro. Back my ass got cleaned up. Back it up. Yeah, don't dab me up.
Yeah.
Limited dabs. Limited. Baby, step back. I don't want that. Limited dabs. 6 feet. Baby, step back. I don't want that.
We the cleanest.
Tonight is the night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I sit down with Commissioner of the NFL, Roger Goodell, to have a very uncomfortable conversation. Yes, we talk about Colin Kaepernick. You're going to hear some things from Roger Goodell you've never heard before. You're going to see a side of Commissioner Goodell you've never seen before. But what I will say is this. We live in a cancel culture where people would rather cancel people than give them the opportunity to learn, grow, and maybe change their opinion. Or maybe not. But either way, put your fist down, let your guard down, and I'll see you tonight. Welcome to another episode of Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man. Just a few years ago, the injustices in our world were brought to the forefront of our eyes by athletes across major sports. Well, no sport bigger than the NFL, which has been said to own one day of the week. I'm joined now by Commissioner of the NFL, Roger Goodell. How are you, my friend?
I'm great, Emmanuel. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Glad to be here.
Great. Good to see you. You're one of the busiest men in America. You could be anywhere, but you know the nature of these conversations and have chosen to be here. Why?
Well, I've seen a few of your past episodes, and I'm a big believer in dialogue. And frankly, I talk to my kids all the time and others about you really don't learn until you're uncomfortable. and really, when you get uncomfortable, it forces you to resort to something you're not comfortable with, mm-hmm. right? And it gives you an opportunity to learn. Mm-hmm. So I always look at things as an experience to learn. I think I teased you. You're probably going to have a hard time making me uncomfortable, which is a challenge, and I probably shouldn't have said it, because I'm very comfortable talking about race.
Yeah,
I have all my life.
You told me when we spoke on the phone, you said, Emmanuel, I remember in elementary school, kids were being bussed into my school. Take me back there. Elaborate on that.
Well, I'm embarrassed to say I grew up in the 60s, so that's how old I am, Emmanuel. So you can't relate to that one. But I went to public school mm-hmm. in Washington, D.C., right in the city. My dad was in politics,
Welcome back to the Chop Shop, your midday sports happy hour, the best 120 minutes of your day. Of course, Robert Allen and myself, Jim Hicks, we are officially on that back nine. Well, we are creeping up on the back nine. Yeah. And as promised, we have a guest coming with you guys shortly, and a surprise guest for you guys. We take a break, and we're gonna continue to talk about some NBA talk.
Oh, yeah.
But we're gonna talk NBA of a different dynamic right now.
Okay.
And that is the NBA draft is coming up. We had the lottery, the draft lottery this past Thursday, I think, and which the Minnesota Timberwolves got the lucky ball. That's our guy. That's my guy Gerson Rosas, and he's the GM at the with Minnesota. And Golden State is the talk of the town. They had the number 2 ball.
Jimmy, that might be an unlucky ball that Gerson and them got. Now they got to make a choice.
They got
But you know what, Jimmy? I got something, y'all, and I want the public. I'm gonna help the public out, and educate them. Whenever y'all watch these certain years, like last year, right? We already knew who was the number 1 pick before it even happened. Okay, we knew it was Zion. Whenever the NBA tells you, and they put out a presser saying it's no clear number 1, that's a dog whistle for something. That's saying that they really don't know who is they not sure if either one of those guys gonna help them win a ball game. I'm just telling you how they think. A key thing I never forget. Have we looked into the playoffs this year? Did we look into the bubble this year? Other than Ja Morant and Zion, what other rookie made significant contributions to their team? And I might have missed a couple. I said significant now. So now you understand pro basketball. I just want people to understand pro basketball just a little bit better. Just because you're the number 1 pick, you're the number 2 pick, you're the number 3, 4, 5 pick, lottery pick, don't automatically equate to success and helping teams win immediately. So have patience with these young men. Have patience with them. So I just wanted to get that out there so y'all can understand what's going on. Just go through the bubble. Go watch any of them teams you watched last night. Ain't no rookies. And we don't call Luka. Now this stuff, Luka's a 2nd-year guy, but Luka been playing professional basketball since 13 years old. I'm gonna repeat that. 13 years old. He was the MVP of the Euro League. Let's get that out the way. He was the Final Four MVP of the Euro League. Played with Real Madrid. Led them to several championships. So he's a seasoned veteran. And he's big. I don't know if y'all looked at that. Did you see how big he was? When him and Montrezl's a post guy and Luka a guard, and he was taller than Montrez almost. But Jimmy, I'll let you have it. I just wanted to add that little caveat to let people understand this NBA is fantastic. It's a different animal. Huh?
Well, I would slightly beg to differ.
Okay.
Because you just mentioned that you challenge people to find other rookies that's moving the needle for their teams. Now that moved the needle for their teams this season.
I didn't say move the needle. I said made significant contributions.
There's a couple that's moving the needle, making significant.
No, but that's your word.
That's moving the needle.
Okay.
I mean, the first people start off with. Michael Porter didn't play this season. He only played in the bubble. But Michael Porter.
But technically he's not a rookie. And I keep trying to tell you that. I said, first year player. Stop. First year players. Will that help?
Okay. What about Miami? Miami got 2 of them, Kendrick Nunn and Tyler Hero. Both made, and they're in the playoffs right now. They both contribute like a mug.
Kendrick Nunn was a seasoned vet in the G League. He was a high school McDonald All-American.
But Tyler Hero.
Tyler Hero
he's doing good work with Miami right now.
Jimmy, you gave me 2 people. That's a big league. I said you'd be hard-pressed to find guys who going to make a significant contribution to the team.
I can name some more.
Keep going.
I can name some more.
Give me some more.
Our guy from Dallas, P.J. Washington, put in work with Charlotte. The team was garbage, but P.J. did work. P.J. did work. Yeah, he did work. Even you got to acknowledge P.J. Washington did some work this year. He put in work.
Okay.
That's one. What about the midget over in Chicago with the hair? What's his name? The little guard. You know what I'm talking about.
Jim.
From North Carolina.
Jim. The key, I said that people in the bubble, that's winning. They ain't making you know what I'm saying. You just had to find a way. And you know what? I am glad. Just keep going. Kobe White. Was he in the bubble? Was he in the bubble?
Kobe, Helen.
I got a question. Was he in the Jimmy, my comment was about the bubble.
I said you didn't say the bubble.
I said bubble. Yes, I did.
Just named it 2. Miami Heat, that's 2 that I named in the bubble.
But hold up, excuse me. What's his name? He played in the G League a whole year, Kendrick Young. So he's a veteran. He's just not a normal NBA rookie. I'm talking about the guys who about to get drafted this year. If you listen sometime, just listen sometime, and you'll pick up on a whole lot of stuff. So what else we got?
Wasn't the guy guarding James Harden the other night?
Jimmy. Kobe White is way more than a midget, and he's way more than 6'3" that Troy Bieniemy says he is. Kobe White is definitely not a midget.
Kobe White not a midget. Kobe White moved the needle for Chicago. They're not in the bubble, so they don't apply to your theory.
Yeah, I ain't talking about no.
But that's once again, that's a guy that came into the draft.
He didn't help them win no ball games. I said
he moved the needle.
You keep saying move the needle.
I named you 6 guys.
No, you did not.
One. Oh, guess what? Give me an X for Kobe White. I get 1 wrong, get 5 right.
X
okay, to hell with Kobe White. Let's go with the rest of those guys.
No, you didn't name a Duncan Robinson.
What do you mean? I didn't even name no Duncan Robinson.
Well, Tyler Hero, whatever.
Yes, that's a good one. It's a damn good one.
So all he got to do is come out there and shoot on the team. Yeah. Okay.
No,
he got one.
He gotta go.
Hold up. Jimmy. It's 350 players in the NBA, right? No, 450. 350 in the bubble, and you name me one. Thank you. It's all good. You name me one. So let's get on with the guest. Thank you, Kevin Freidman. I knew Kobe White was taller. He wasn't a midget. If he a midget, I'm in bad shape. If Kobe White's a midget.
Understand something, guys. I watched Kobe White along the way. So last time I saw him at top 100 camp, he was a midget. Kobe, a lot of them guys grow. So understand. So I don't see them a whole lot when they in college, face to face. I damn sure don't follow their heights face to face. So when I saw him, he was midget.
We got a guest. Let's just bring our guests on.
That's like if a guy see Bryce Griggs and they saw Bryce Griggs in 2 years. Bryce Griggs to that guy, Bryce Griggs would be a midget. You'd be like, no, Bryce Griggs 6'3", 6'4" now. So that's okay. So that's a different. It happens to a lot of guys. But you people that know and follow Kobe, he was not that tall 4 years. Last time I saw him in top 100 camp.
Okay. All right.
So that's why I call him that. Okay. I know that's where that comes from.
It's all right.
So now, and as I asked you, what about the guy that's just guarding James Harden the other day with the Rockets? Isn't he a rookie?
What did he do? What have he done? He made. What did he do? James had 40 points.
He's on the court.
Okay, Doris Burke. Okay, Jimmy Burke.
He's on the court.
Jimmy Burke.
Playing. He's contributing to that team. It ain't about what he do to James Harden. I'm talking about what he doing with his team.
You mentioned a guy that. Jimmy, let's bring our guests on. You're gonna have problems trying Jimmy. The way I worded that question and that statement, you're gonna hurt yourself trying to figure it out. Because you ain't got a clue about what I was talking about. But let's bring the guests on.
I asked you, remember, your statement was guys gonna do something for their team in the bubble.
Jimmy, please don't do the Shannon Sharp today. Okay? Let's get on and get to the get to the next person. Let's go. Let's get to
good. And I'm good.
He got the power today.
You don't run from your own question. That's what you're doing. I see what you're saying. Let's just go and get to the game. You guys know what I'm talking about in regard to that. Shoot, sit there want to beat it in to just you go and make yourself right. I'm gonna make myself right.
I'm not trying to be right.
I'm gonna try to make you wrong. Then that make them understand.
I'm not trying to be right.
That's another thing. Now we can go and bring our guests.
I'm not trying to be right though.
The NBA draft is coming up. We have one of the few young men who put his name in the draft, played high school basketball in Texas at Dallas Fate Family, started on the team who beat Jack Yates in the state semifinals in 2019. Then they proceeded to win the state championship in the next game. This young man has put his name in the draft a year later and decided to keep his name in the draft. And a lot of people are saying, well, who is this guy? what is going on. They want to understand his why. And we're providing the platform at the Chop Shop to give this young man his opportunity to do so, because, you know, nobody has the right to kill another person's dream. Well, you know, deflate another. We're going to see and find out right now. And that is, his young name is Mike Lenoir. Mike Lenoir is with us today.
Let me bring Mike on in.
Well, we welcome you to the Chop Shop. Man, there you go. It's right there.
Hold on, let me
doing?
get Mike. Hold up, Mike. Yeah, I have something for you, Mike. Don't slow down. I got you, Mike. Jimmy.
Yeah. Yeah. What's going on, young man? How you doing? What's going on, Mike?
How y'all doing? Thank y'all for having me.
Mike, let's get straight on to it, and let's clarify. Let everybody know what school you played from, and you tell them how tall you are, and what made you put your name into the NBA draft.
Yeah, for high school, I went to Faith Family Academy of Oak Cliff, like y'all recently said. And after high school, I played a prep season with Creating Young Minds. And after that, I played a pro season with the TBL, with is now the Louisville Leopards, but used to be the Louisville Yellow Jackets. And I feel like I did pretty good in the TBL against some G League guys, some guys that played overseas, some Euro Cup type guys. And my numbers say a lot for themselves. So I feel like that's a good reason why I should throw my name in the draft, because I feel like my game would translate to the next level.
And how tall are you, Mike?
5'11".
5'11".
Yes, sir.
Whoa, Mike. The man just called Kobe White a midget, and at 6'4", and you 5'11". Man, you must be a bad man. Mike, do me a favor. Do what I want you to do.
I call Kobe White a midget based on NBA standards. Based on what height I thought he was when I last.
Guess what Mike trying to go?
Kobe White was not taller than me when I saw him.
Hey, guess what Mike trying to go? Jimmy, Mike trying to go to the NBA. But Mike trying to go to the NBA, Jimmy. So that's why I mentioned that. Mike trying to go to him. And Mike, I'm going to tell you what's so unique about it. And man, I'm glad about it. I saw a couple of your videos. But what's so unique, Mike, in the NBA draft? Did you look at the NBA draft last year at all? Or the last
Yes, sir,
years?
I did.
Do you know, I think it was might have been two people your height that got drafted.
Yeah, I seen that.
The guy from LSU. And
Tremont Waters.
Yeah, Tremont Waters and Mike, and I think the kid from here, Carson was borderline.
Carson. Yeah, Carson Edwards. Yeah. So and they both ended up on the Celtics.
Yeah, both of them. The Celtics when he got both of them.
Right.
Yeah. So what, Mike? So you didn't want to go to college?
After the prep season, I felt the whole prep season we played against nothing but colleges. So a lot of JUCOs, like D1 JUCOs, TJC, Kilgore, like a lot of top JUCOs with a lot of top D1 players on those JUCOs. So I did pretty good numbers against them. I averaged 24 and 11. So I decided to play pro. Me and my coach and my dad, we thought it was my best interest to test the waters. So when I did that, I ended up playing pro, and I was third on the all-time scoring list for the season. Unfortunately, it ended pretty quickly, but I led the league in assists with 11 assists at 18. So I feel like that's big for me as being a point guard anyway. And, you know, I feel like my number was pretty good. So that's why I'm deciding to test the waters.
I got a quick question. This is one of the most unique years in sports history, the pandemic. Okay, you didn't have a chance to work out personally with no NBA teams. You didn't even have a chance to go and work out against it. You know, like they got a top guard going here. You said, okay, I'm going to try to work out with him. Top guard going here. Those things didn't happen for you this year. Okay, so
yes, sir.
With that as the backdrop, and you still said, okay, that's one. And have any teams contacted you? How you gonna get into camp? How you gonna or you got an overseas opportunity going on? Explain the. See, a lot of people might say, because they don't know everything you know. You follow me?
Right.
You might know something that me and Jimmy and none of these people know, right? And so you might help us out. And Mike, I promise you, I didn't know when he first told me about you. I thought you was a 7-footer. Mike, I said, okay. I said, let him do his thing. Then I found out, but then I said, he got some hell of a kahunas on him. So explain to me, walk me through it, man. Man, I've been in this business, man. How old are you, Mike?
I'm 19. I turned 19 April 1st.
Mike, I was in this business representing players in the NBA, and you wasn't even born.
Yeah.
Okay? 30 years ago, Penny Hardaway was my first ever client, right? You weren't even born. And now, help me. I want you to educate me, because guess what? Because people telling me, Mike, Robert, there's a new athlete out here, Robert. There's different parents out here, Robert, you're dealing with. And I understand that. Help me. Walk me through this thing. Mike, Mike, hold up. Let me get my pen. I'm about to take notes, Mike. Walk me through it, baby.
So first, like what exactly do you want to know so I can tell you step by step?
Tell me what made you say in a
okay,
pandemic.
First, what makes me want to stay after the TBL season, my first option was, and it was looking real good for me, was the NBA Australia. The STARS program. That looked real good for me. Okay. But unfortunately, the pandemic hit, the certain borders closed, and I couldn't really get over there. So with that being said, all they had left open was the NBA, which is my dream. Like, that's all I've been wanting to do since a little boy. It's always been my dream. Okay. So as my coach, all thanks to my coach and his wife, Miss Shira, they worked very hard, like, behind my name. So we sending film out, a lot of people being talked to about me, a lot of names that hold weight. They starting to know my name, and the word is getting around. So the Dallas Mavericks, Philadelphia 76ers, Atlanta Hawks, the New York Knicks, they showed like a lot of interest. They was contacting my coach. They was looking at our games on live stream. We played in the Summer League and the TBL, and they was watching. So by them doing that, showing some type of interest, I feel like, they was really paying attention to me, because at the end of the day, we all know how the NBA is. It's a business. Yeah. They don't have to do that at all. They could have easily paid attention to a 5-star or a 3-star or whatever, or a lot of these guys that's coming out of college. But for them to take the time out and, talk to my coach and his wife, Miss Cheryl, a lot of NBA scouts. Also, I forgot to mention, in the Summer League, an NBA scout, big ups to him, came to watch me play in the Summer League. Mm-hmm. So our Summer League that we threw, Creating Young Minds. So it's stuff like that, and also I trust my work. Like, my work ethic this whole time during the pandemic, I understand other guys been working, but I've been working too. Not just being cocky, being confident. I trust my work. Yeah. Like, me and my coach, we talk about it, me and my dad, keep working every day. Who knows what these 5-stars or however these guys gonna look when they come back. But me, I know if I stay on my grind, I keep getting better, keep getting stronger, more confident. I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do. So I just got great confidence in myself, and I put God first in everything. So with him, I just trust and believe. That's why I kept my name in the draft. I could have easily pulled it out. I know I saw some people pull it out, but I think this the best thing for me.
So I had you your name out, and by playing with the TBL, let the people know what the TBL stands for in the second. And then second part is, would you still have been eligible for college, although you played with the TBL?
The TBL stands for the Basketball League. Mm-hmm. And yes, I would still be able to play for college. I wasn't getting paid. I signed a contract that was totally different from everybody else. Just like how certain guys go play overseas against grown men and stuff, against like pro players. I did the same thing. It was just in the U.S. But I wasn't getting paid, nothing like that. So I would have still been able to go play college ball. But unfortunately for me, well, not unfortunately, but the NBA was looking good, the NBL was looking well, so that's what I looked forward to.
Okay.
So now, what's the plan now with the draft as it stands? What are you hearing that the NBA is going to do with the actual draft?
Well, my coach and his wife, Miss Cheryl, they told me, they let me know all the info. I know the draft is supposed to be in October. They're supposed to have some combines coming up, but that's supposed to be virtual. We don't have all the info on it yet, but when we find out, we'll head to those combines or however they're going to do it. So that's all right now.
So I think it's Jimmy. We got
Somebody
Mike,
has
hold up,
a device
Mike,
up loud.
Mike, do you have a device over there that you can hear? Some people can hear. Could you turn it down a little bit?
The other, not the main device, but the other ones in the background.
Yeah,
Somebody may
in
have
the
one
background.
that's
I'm getting a feedback from your somebody in your background. Ain't nobody got nothing on? Okay, all right. No, okay, we're just getting a little feedback. Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
Okay, no, you good. No, this just happens. In electronics, it happens. But it's so unique, Mike, because I know the NBA is still trying to figure out what when this season, what they're gonna do for next season anyway.
Yes, sir.
They just put out a thing today, Mike. Even they're gonna start letting the players 4 at a time work back out at the team facilities. So this is a fluid situation, and now even the combine is gonna be different. And
right.
And if so, have you been invited to the combine yet? Cause see, I think the combine, I saw the list somewhere, and I don't have it with me. It's already been set. So what they gonna try to get you in as an extra? I'm just trying to figure out what did the scouts actually tell your coach and the wife? Could they? I mean, I'm just trying to figure out, because I know for the combine to be invited, I know some players are top in the country said it, and they didn't get invited to this combine. So, yeah. And I know it's new, Mike. I promise you, this is new, and some of these teams don't know. And guess what? You might just get the luck of the pandemic, and they said, okay, dude can't come. Now, hey, keep yourself negative over there. If dude can't come, right, let's call in Mike. You follow me? Yeah. So, what's your timeline right now, Mike?
I still have a chance to get in the combines. Okay. As my coach and his wife tell me. So we're just waiting patiently. I'm trusting them to, get the feedback and working their hardest to get me in the combine. So until then, I'm just still working. That's really it for right now.
Jimmy?
And somebody had a question on the Boom Boom Room, and they asked, how was NBA scouts able to see you during the pandemic at a live game? And you mentioned that one of the NBA scouts, you don't have to say his name, but can you define that to the viewers? Somebody asked that question.
Yeah, the NBA scout, he flew down here to Texas to come watch our game. I mean, it's just simple as that. I don't know how.
The game, which your game with the TBT?
That was the game with the summer league. Our summer league that we threw. And they came.
So you was in summer league up in Dallas?
Yes, sir. Creating Young Minds. We had our own summer league.
Okay. And that was during what months was that?
That was during July.
So just last month?
Yes, sir. Okay. We just got done with it. And we'll be throwing the fall. We'll be throwing the fall league in September. So.
Okay, and who's
my coach, and they have all the information for the teams and stuff, and a couple more NBA scouts supposed to be coming to that too, also.
I'm saying, so the players they expand outward from creating Young Minds. There are other teams that are playing in the summer league as well, or is it just your organization?
it's other teams that's playing in the summer league as well.
Okay, so is that's the league where you averaged the 24 and 11, or was that in the TBT?
That was in the TBL.
I mean TBL.
Yeah, the TBL is where I averaged 24 and 11. Yes, sir.
So what you do in the summer league this July?
Same thing.
Really?
Same thing. I promise.
So who is your game modeled or resembles if you can paint a picture to visualize you, because I saw you play, and you know I'm quite sure you are much better than what I saw you play in March of 2019.
Yeah,
that was at the San Antonio Alamo Dome. Yeah. I watched you play.
Wait a minute, wait a minute, hold up. What happened up there? What happened up there, Mike? I wasn't there. What happened?
What, up there at San Antonio Alamo Dome?
You won the championship, didn't you?
Yeah, we won state.
Okay. So what Jimmy trying to say?
I don't know. When we played against Yates, when we played against Yates, you know, like, I don't know what they thought. I ain't gonna lie, they was really trying to disrespect us, play us close, because, you know, we ain't never been there before. They like, they ain't know our name, so and so. So, you know, we was having shoot around and stuff. They was looking at us crazy, but, you know, I just told my team, stay locked in. We just worried about get the W. So when we came, we played, you know. They tried to run that little weak press, of course. Broke that quick. I'm in the books. 8 assists, like third in all San Antonio state tournament. So I'm third on the list. I had that against Yates.
How many you have against Yates?
8.
Okay.
Against Yates. So we beat them, and then we played Liberty Hill the next day, and we won state. But yeah, see, he talking about the Faith family Mike. I'm a whole nother Mike. It's a whole nother Mike.
Hey, Mike, you making me want to go put on my sneakers, man. I want some, Mike, you making me want to go play right now, Mike.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like, I know, not really feel like, but I know I'm a way better player. I'm bigger, I'm stronger, faster, quicker. My mentality, my mindset is different. And, you know, I just, especially playing against grown men, my game had to elevate, or I was gonna get exposed. That's just what it was. Like, either you're gonna do the exposing or you're gonna get exposed. That's just how it is.
Can you get in the rim, Mike?
Did I get in the rim? I ain't dunk on nobody in the season, but I get up there though.
Okay.
Yeah, I can get up there.
I'm just checking.
Hey man, I'm loving.
I love it, Mike.
I'm loving your spirit and the direction. And the thing is, and a lot of people, and we go as you're talking with us on the Chop Shop. Mind you, we're streaming live on YouTube and Facebook, and a lot of people are commenting and sharing their thoughts, exchanging thoughts and whatnot, and asking questions and we're relaying some of those to you as live on the air. So with that being said, like a lot of people may have gotten in late, didn't hear you at first, but I'm like I said, I didn't know where the direction of this conversation would go. I did not. All I knew is I remember I contacted your ex high school coach, and he connected me with you. And I didn't even call you before. A lot of people don't understand this. This is no pre-conversation. You didn't know what to expect. I wanted to give you the platform so that people can understand your why. And right now, I'm beginning to understand your why. It's not for nobody else to agree with your why. This is your life.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
It's your decisions. But the understanding part, now I can see how some of the stuff connected. And so now we go back to help enforce that understanding. Let's go back to the moment where this thought of your dream of one day playing in the NBA, where did it turn real at? At what moment, after what particular game, and what conversation, and who was the person of influence that you credit with making you saying, okay, let's go ahead on and do it? Because you had to know, you had to make the conscious decision to say, you know what, man, forget college, man, let's go do this.
Right.
So paint that picture for us.
Okay, so start of the TBL season, actually, it was new for me. So I'm really playing pro. Like, I'm telling myself I'm playing pro basketball against pro players, ex-NBA players, G League players. Like, it's real. So I played in the TBL and see how that went. And what made it really real for me, we played a historical team, the Albany Patroons up in New York. So we played the Albany Patroons. We lost, and I didn't play so well. And they had to, but we had to play them again in like another week or two or so. So when we played them again, I had 39 and 14. Like, I went crazy. And for me, that was big. It's like, you bounce back through all the adversity and all the stuff that people were saying, because it was my first time playing pro and my name was kind of buzzing around the league and stuff like that. So I knew they was coming at me. I knew I had a target on my back, which I like stuff like that. I like that. So that made me step up even more. But once I had 39 and 14 on grown, like real grown men who've been doing this for a long time, ex-NBA players, like, I knew, and I was averaging it. It wasn't like every blue moon or just a coincidence. No, like, my average was 11 assists. I was second on the scoring list until I dropped down to 3. But it's the fact that it was that for me, and I knew, like, numbers don't lie. Like, I couldn't make it up. So once I was producing and I felt myself getting better and doing it more, and as my confidence grew, I knew that, like, yeah, I could play in the NBA. Like, I knew to myself. People always say it, but they don't really mean it. You know what I'm saying? So I knew, I'm like, I can play in the NBA. So my coach and my dad, we had to sit down, we talked, and we decided, like, what was my best interest. And my dad and Coach Matt, we thought for the best interest, it was like, I think you should enter the draft. Like, your numbers don't lie. Film don't lie, like, they can see it.
Mike,
so
can I help you out, Mike?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Mike, I'm looking at the comments, and I have to interject a little bit. I'm looking at the comments. I'm gonna tell you something. That NBA, right? It ain't but 450 spots in the whole wide world. Okay. You done forego college. Okay. So it's NBA or overseas or bust to you. What about college? You just didn't never want to go to college. What about a trade? What about a vocation? In case, cause guess what, Mike? Like I said, I've been in this business before you were born. Mike, the ball stopped bouncing for everybody. Okay? At some point, as explosive and all your numbers and all of this, the numbers don't lie, it's going to stop.
Yes, sir.
Where are you going to be when it stopped? It stopped for the greatest player ever, Michael Jordan. When it stopped for him, he's a businessman. He used this NBA cachet. Magic Johnson used that. When the ball stopped bouncing, young man, we got to, I know you focusing on basketball, but this is going to stop. Where are you going to be? What are your plans? Yeah, what are your plans? Because
hold on 1 second,
okay.
Mr. Robert.
Okay.
I can't hear it. Hold on.
Okay. Yes.
While we get the audio, what we're going to ask you to do, Mike, is once again, it seems like there's an echo still coming from your room, and it's okay for others to have their devices on and watching and reading, but they have to cut those other devices' volumes down. Otherwise, it's coming back into your microphone as what you're saying coming back through and reverbing. So once again, if anybody in the room has, and they're watching from another device, you can still do so, but please turn your volume down. And also another thing that could probably affect it is if that volume is up on another device, they can turn off their Bluetooth. That may be interacting, maybe not you,
Not you.
But
You
that's
good.
all. Because what it does is when people go back to watch the show, they
Right.
will have moments like this, and how your last 20 seconds of what you said was spliced up and fragmented.
Wow.
I thought maybe it was me. But it was he. When he said he couldn't hear you, that means nobody could hear you.
See,
So,
Jimmy, you and I and Mike, we are connected through Skype. The people out there, they are not. They hearing the actual feed from the TV source. So we might be all right with them. But Mike, what I want to reiterate to you, and I hope you heard me, that we all have to have the basketball is going to stop, Mike. And you say you're not going to college. You're not pursuing college. You might be gifted in some other areas. You might be a computer whiz. I don't know. Remember, I said I don't know everything about what's going on. What I'm just trying to figure out is, I've been in this business before you were born, and I've seen a lot of mistakes made. And I would like to. I'm just curious about this one, because I believe in everybody having a shot. If you good enough, and these teams are lacking it, Mike.
Let's go to a quick break. It's time for a break, and we go to a quick break, and we'll see what's going on. Meanwhile, guys, you got to hang right there. We want this conversation to be, and we're going to come back with Mike Lenoir in just a second, and the Chop Shop. And let's get everything right for you guys. That's all.
Well, you know the nature of these conversations and have chosen to be here. Why?
Well, I've seen a few of your past episodes, and I'm a big believer in dialogue. And frankly, I talk to my kids all the time and others about, you really don't learn until you're uncomfortable. and really, when you get uncomfortable, it forces you to resort to something you're not comfortable with, right? And it gives you an opportunity to learn. So I always look at things as an experience to learn. I think I teased you. You're probably going to have a hard time making me uncomfortable, which is a challenge, and I probably shouldn't have said it, because I'm very comfortable talking about race.
Yeah.
I have all my life.
You told me when we spoke on the phone, you said, Emmanuel, I remember in elementary school, kids were being bussed into my school. Take me back there. Elaborate on that.
Well, I'm embarrassed to say I grew up in the 60s, so that's how old I am, Emmanuel. So you can't relate to that one. But I went to public school in Washington, D.C., right in the city. My dad was in politics, so we lived there from 59, right after I was born, until 1970. But the 60s were a really volatile time.
Yeah.
We had not only civil rights, but we had, Vietnam War was a terribly divisive issue too. And so being in Washington, it wasn't unusual for me to walk home and the National Guard was on the street corner. And I really didn't think much about it.
Again, I was doing my research and I came across this picture. Who are those two people in the center of that photo right there?
Well, I can tell you all three of them.
Okay.
So this is Coretta Scott King, George McGovern.
Okay.
And that is my father. And
what's going on there?
They are marching in the Vietnam War rally. And the interesting story about that is Coretta Scott King, she didn't want to march without my father.
Please elaborate on that.
She actually, this is how it was told to me, and as I understand it, she said, I want Charlie Goodell to walk with me because he stood up to the Vietnam War. Obviously, I look at that and I have a tremendous pride. We actually have that in our family house on the wall when you walk in. My dad actually, when he spoke up against the Vietnam War, he originally supported the Vietnam War as a politician. He changed his mind actually by going to various colleges around the state of New York, which he represented, and he listened to the kids.
Yeah.
And he listened to the students who were being drafted, by the way, and going off to this tragic war. And so he was really influenced by that and said, he came back and he sat us all down as a family and said, I made a decision that I'm going to oppose the Vietnam War. It will not be popular with the President of the United States, Richard Nixon, and I will likely not win my re-election for the Senate, but it's the right thing to do. And so he turned out to be right on the fact he wouldn't win re-election because the president and the vice president just ripped him.
Yeah.
And just, he didn't have a chance. And, but he stood up for what he believes. It's not always easy to know what's right, but you have to, when you do know what's right, you have to have the courage to do it.
What do you know now in 2020? What does Roger Goodell know now about the protest that took place during the national anthem, the peaceful protest that you wish you knew back then?
Just what was going on in the communities.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what was going on in the communities. And when I had the chance to sit with our players, I never had the chance to sit with Cap, but I talked with Kenny Stills a lot,
Yep.
Eric Reed, Malcolm Jenkins, Anquan Bolden, so many other players that, some of them sacrificed a great deal.
You can't understate how valuable the message that you put out a couple months was. At least as a former player, as a black man in society, that message, it resonated with me. It spoke to me. You said you listened, you heard, you learned. You even apologized to so many. But in the midst of all that, there wasn't a specific message or apology to the catalyst for it all, Kaepernick, who you mentioned. If you were to publicly express your remorse, apologize to Kaepernick, what would you say?
Well, the first thing I'd say is I wish we had listened earlier, Cap, to what you were kneeling about and what you were trying to bring attention to. We had invited him in several times to have the conversation, have the dialogue. I wish we had the benefit of that.
Yeah.
We never did. And, we would have benefited from that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sometimes, because I've known for years now that the peaceful protest during the national anthem, it was never about the flag. To the point where I just want to rip out my hair sometimes and say it's not about the flag.
Right.
If you were to be able to relay that message, what would you say? Like, to people who still think it's about the flag, what would you tell them?
It is not about the flag. The message here that what our players is doing is being mischaracterized. Mm-hmm. These are not people who are unpatriotic.
Yeah.
They're not disloyal. They're not against our military.
Yeah.
In fact, many of those guys were in the military.
Yeah.
And they were our military family.
Welcome back to the Chop Shop, your midday sports happy hour, the best 120 minutes of your day. If you're viewing the show on the Facebook feed right now, won't you take out the time to share this show to your timelines, to your hoop groups, to your friends on Facebook. This is a great, valuable conversation, and that I think that probably can help many to just understand what a lot of these young men are going through that are student athletes. And also, if you're watching on YouTube right now, give us a thumbs up. And we see some of you guys out there. Shout out to Jeffrey David Ball so hard, Wesley Yates, Tim Madden, and a lot of the other fellas up there, Melvin Dews and everybody else in the YouTube land. I see the convo is going and thriving in the Facebook feed. But right now we have with us, we're joined with Michael Lenoir, and this young man, he's 19 years old. He started with Dallas Fate Family, who won the state championship in 2019. The team that eliminated Yates in the semifinal game. And Mike has put his name in the NBA draft. Putting your name in the draft is one thing, but it was punctuated when he decided to keep his name in the NBA draft, which that means now there's no turning back. And Mike started, he was catching some of you guys up. He played in the TBL league, and that's the basketball league, where he averaged 24 points, 11 assists. And he stated earlier, that was part of the motivation that helped influence and morph his thoughts into following his dream. Now, Howard, before we go into the break, you were trying to explain something to Mike. You mentioned about the amount of 400 and something guys in the NBA, and let's pick up from there.
No, it's just Mike. It's the most unique fraternity in the world, and I don't know if you know that. And I'm blessed enough to be around this game for 30 years, and and it's hard. I just want you to, and I want you to keep trying, but I don't want you to get discouraged when something don't happen your way the first time. Patrick Beverly, Mario Ellie, they played in every league all over the world. I mean, some in Yugoslavia. I mean, everywhere, trying to get back to this league. So I just want to make sure. I just want you to know. Nobody. I know you're gonna listen to your parents. You're gonna listen to your coaches. But I don't want this opportunity to never go by and said that Robert Hatter didn't tell you that to take a look at your plan B and your plan C, because I know how hard it is. And you didn't say G League. You said and I got the list of the people that they're inviting to the combine. And Mike, right now, they don't even know how the combine is going to even really be ran yet. So I just want you to think about that, young man. It's all, keep doing what you're doing, but I just want you to understand this thing you're doing. That means you're good enough, like I said earlier, to go on one of these teams that played last night. You might have to get, I know you might laugh about it, you might have to get switched on Luka, like Poe Reggie Jackson did last night. And he's 6'4", 6'5". So I just want you to understand this is listen, them dudes on them NBA teams, they not the guys you played with in the TBL, the X ones. If you X for a reason. So that's all I'm saying. Get ready and buckle down, because, man, it's just, I just don't want you to be out there and like basketball, that's all it is. Because guess what? Someday you might want to have a family. You might have one. And you got to be able to provide for them. If you get hurt, if you get knocked down. TJ Ford was your side. He had to wear a halo brace because he kept going in there with them big old guys, and they knocked his little butt on that ground. And guess what? He was just blessed enough to have a contract at that time, but he can't play no more. So, but guess what he did, Mike? He went back and got his degree. You follow me? He didn't have time to do it when he was in NBA. He went back, and now he's eligible, Mike. TJ Ford, Google him, TJ Ford. Now he's able to, he can coach college basketball. He can coach high school, whatever he want to do, because he got his degree. So I let me tell you something. It would be malpractice if I wouldn't tell you that. And I'm not trying to kill your dream. I got to do, in my position, I got to tell you the road ahead of you, because I've been here before. Okay? All right. Jimmy, did you have something? Mike, you want to comment?
Nah, I just appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's all yeah, for sure. I understand that. I always know, like I heard you say a little bit about before you guys went on break about me, about college and stuff like that. Like what a lot of people don't know about this program, this organization that I've been a part of, Creating Young Minds. They partner with Grand Canyon University. So throughout this whole process, I'll be getting my degree online the whole time. And while doing that, I've been building my own business with CYM, creating my own podcast. So like you said, basketball not gonna last forever, so you gotta have something else on the side.
Okay, so that's going to lead into my next question was about what's the plan B for the academic component. And so you're planning on enrolling in online classes. And could you, do you mind sharing with us, okay, under which school or which, or what are you trying to,
what just said Grand Canyon, didn't he?
Yeah, Grand Canyon University.
Grand Canyon, Jim.
Okay, I missed that. Okay,
yeah.
Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
And when are you planning to enroll? You gonna give yourself a semester, or you gonna dive in there in the fall, or what?
Most likely in the fall this year. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Jimmy, he gonna be in the league soon. Jim, he gonna be. Jimmy, this man gonna be trying to. Hold up, Jimmy. He gonna be trying to make it in the league. So if this pandemic, see, my only problem let me tell you something, Mike. If everything was different, no pandemic, then I could say, Mike, this is what you got to do here. Mike, this is what you need to do here. Mike, when you go to this camp, Mike, you got to do this. When you go to this camp, I can sit up here and give you got the right guy on the phone can tell you, on the feed. But Mike, during this pandemic, I know some GMs don't know what they gonna do.
Right.
So I'm just telling you, you stay ready so you won't have to get ready. But yes, you're right. Enroll in school and do whatever you can. Because let me tell you something. Everybody ain't built for college. I've learned over the last year that a lot of kids just don't want to go to college, but they want to do something, Mike. They might, like the little young cat, we had a young kid, 6'6", said, I don't want to go to regular university. I want to go and learn how to work on airplanes. I want to go to airplane school. I want to be a aviator mechanic. I said, okay. So Mike, I understand that. But that's all. I just now that you know how I feel about it, I just want you to be ready, baby. That's all. Hey, I just want you to be ready. I want you when they call your name, they gonna say that little old guard that came on your show. That's my hope and dream for you. That little guard that came on your show, dude, Hannah, he's the real deal. Cause let me tell you something, Mike. They gonna call and tell me. Because I'm going to call and ask about you. So it's all good. What else you got, Jimmy?
Well, I mean, and that's some of the things like I'm mentioning, and guys are coming and everything. And the thing is, understand at this point, what we have learned is Mike he's planning to enroll in college. In addition to continue his quest to fulfill his dream of playing in the NBA. The NBA. Yeah. Well, so if people saying, if they're commenting, and if you're saying, well, you recommend school for this kid, well, hell, he's enrolling in college. Mm-hmm. So what do you, so if that's the case, secondly, what do you have to say, Mike, for the people or the naysayers out there? What is your response to the people saying, that, hey, what the hell are you thinking?
See, me, I'm the type of guy, I don't really entertain stuff like that. Because I know who I am, and I know what my goal is, and how I move. So, and I feel like everybody's path and everybody's journey is different. So who is somebody else to tell you how to move, especially if they haven't been through that already? A lot of people that say a lot of stuff, like a lot of these sports commentators and all this, they ain't never picked up a ball a day in their life. So, unfortunately, like, if you ain't never been through that situation, or if you're not in these shoes, I listen to what you guys saying. I listen to what you have to say, but at the end of the day, I feel like no decision is a wrong decision, because you never lose. You always learn from it. So, like I say, it is what it is. They're gonna talk. They're gonna do what they want to do. I'm gonna be me.
Do your thing, Mike.
And so now, when you were coming along, once again, the NBA draft is scheduled to take place in a couple of months, and is the plan to get into one of because the summer league is now that's going to be.
It ain't gonna be no summer league, Jimmy.
Yeah, that's going to be in question.
Summer's now. Yes. Yeah.
I'm talking about next.
Oh, next year. Okay, I got you. Okay.
Yeah, because the season is going to start probably at Christmas Day. So that summer league that people had right after the draft, a lot of guys will go into the draft and say, well, hell, I'm not worried, about the draft per se, but because so-and-so team, my agent has, they're going to block me in and give me a spot on the summer team in Vegas or whatnot. Well, that's been wiped out at least for 2020. So now what is the plan B? Let's say if the draft goes and you don't get picked in the first or second round, then what? And with the restrictions that we have for us travel, you mentioned earlier, Australia was option number one, but then, because of the global pandemic, what define to the viewers and the listeners, how do you go there? What's your plan after the draft?
After the draft, let's say things go left, like y'all said, if I don't get drafted or something like that, the NBA G League, I'm talking to them a lot. That's a plan. And like I mentioned before, my coach and them still talking. They recently just talked to the NBA Australia scout. I can go over there and play whenever the borders open back up. So they still want me in the Stars program and everything like that. So like I said, it's not really just do or die for me with throwing my name in the draft. I just feel that I got a good, how would I say it? I don't know. I really don't know. But
you know what?
I don't know. I got stuck right there, but I feel good about myself.
Hell, I thought your internet had went down or something. Hell, I didn't know what the hell was going on with you.
You know what? And Jimmy, I think Jimmy, the young man is gonna bet on himself.
Well,
Hey,
he's
Mike,
already betting on himself.
Mike, I'm thinking you're gonna bet on yourself and whatever, and you're so mature, Mike. Mike, I'm telling you, I'm loving your answers to those naysayers. Hey, you sound like me on that one. I say, yeah, you can't listen to him. You can't listen to him. I just want you to have, and you seem like a very bright young man. And
appreciate that.
And when this D League and all of this stuff open up, because the NBA draft, I've seen the draft board. But 60 players gonna get drafted, right? So if you're not one of those 60, that night, the same night, they're gonna be calling guys they want to come to their camp. Or used to be, Mike, in case you didn't know, or who gonna come to their summer league, or who they gonna sign here, or who they gonna do that. So this thing, what I'm trying to say, this thing that you're undertaking is unique. And I don't know, it might work out for you. But getting drafted, you one of the 60 top players in the world, not in the United States now, because there's some dudes over there. Hey, there's some dudes over there can play. This guard, I can't pronounce his name, but he gonna be in the lottery. So I'm just, man, it's a breath of fresh air just listening to a kid, and you're saying whatever the consequences are, I'm going to school. I got a backup plan. I'm going to school.
Oh, for sure.
I'm taking stuff on. So that's all we can ask of you, Mike. I mean, that's all, because you seem like a young man. This been thought out. You done came on the chop shop, and Jimmy was gonna try. I know Jimmy was trying to give you questions that challenge you. And guess what? Dude, you saying this is what I want to do. So I was unsure because I didn't know who you are. But let me tell you something, wherever this thing happened, you said it go left. No, it might not go left. It just might not go the way you think. See, always remember, the NBA going to be behind on everything they doing right now. So they going to go with the show. Like they said, what y'all said, let's go where the for show is, not where, where the show money is, not the other money, whatever that saying is. So whatever that crazy saying is. But, hey, man, I'm proud of you for sticking to your guns, because usually people crack up under the chop shop. You sit here as an 18, 19-year-old kid that just, I'm proud of you. And Mike, I'm gonna be watching you, and I'm gonna make sure you get my information. And just if you need any help, just give me a call. Okay?
Yes, yes, sir. Appreciate
what else you got, Jimmy?
Mike, who's your agent?
I don't have one of those.
Mama, his mama and daddy, and the coach and the coach's wife. See, he done mentioned that twice, Jimmy, and you didn't pick up on it. I knew what he was talking about. They're acting as his liaison to the teams right now. Because our agent
Right.
most likely saying, man, I ain't got time to be messing with Mike. I'm just telling you how they are, how we are. I ain't got time to be messing with Mike right now. So guess what? Mike's coach, Mike's wife, coach's wife, they doing all the layup. Mike, if I'm wrong, just stop me and say, hold on, Mr. Hatter. I mean, I heard you. I know how this thing works, and I know that's what they were doing for you.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike, why should an NBA team take a gamble on you?
Because a guy like me, I can bring whatever you need to a team, point guard wise. I can run a team for you. I can be a great leader. I can put guys in place. I pick up full court. I play defense. And I'm just a great teammate overall. I'm something you can put a brand on. I'm something you can put my face in front of. I won't disappoint. So, and I feel like any team I go to, I can make that team better. So, and I'm a pure point guard. It's a lot of those are rare. It's rare to be found. The only pure point guard I know in the league right now is Chris Paul. Whether people want to say it or not, give him his props. He's pure. He might not look flashy. He might not shoot from half court. He might not go between the legs 1,000 times, but he's going to make sure he gets the job done. That's the point guard job. He's going to make sure he gets the W. So I feel like that's instilled with me. Like you asked me earlier, what players do I remind myself of? I feel like I can be whatever player you need me to be when the time presents itself. If you need me to be Dame in the fourth quarter, I can be Dame. If you need me to Chris Paul it the whole game, I can be Chris Paul. Like, I can do whatever you need. If you need me to Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, I can do that. So I feel like that's why a team should take a gamble on me. I got confidence in myself, and I know what I can do. I know what I bring to the table.
Now, resume often comes into play on American players that enters into the draft. The resume is one of the things that has longly been used as a measuring stick. And like some player, that's why it's like you notice, it's easier for a player that's in the draft from the Big 12 or the ACC versus a player from the SWAC.
Right.
And that's what I mean by the resume.
Mm-hmm.
Your resume, the TBT, most of the players in the TBT.
TBL.
I'm sorry, I keep saying
yeah,
TBT.
it's all
I'm
good.
sorry about that. In the TBL, most players in the TBL are not NBA players right now. There's some that had stints, some that had a cup of coffee here and there, but most of them are not NBA players, right?
They had a lot. They had a lot of NBA players. Well, if you consider G League is there too.
No, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, for sure.
And so the majority of those players, of the American players in the TBL had G League experience.
Right. And some teams had NBA experience too. Some players got drafted like real live draft picks, like 20, going 30, going for like top draft picks. Like they're going, it's not just, okay, well, he played in the G League for 2 days or he barely made it through training camp. Nah, they really played. They got dudes that can play. Like, I'm not playing no scrubs at all.
So why were they in this league?
They were in this league because the TBL is growing. Unfortunately, if they wasn't in the NBA for long or they wasn't in the G League for long, we all know the NBA is a business. Certain people can stay, certain people can't. So 60 in, 60 out. The TBL was the next league.
I love it, man. Man said 60 in, 60 out. Hey, man, y'all gonna leave Mike Lenoir alone. I'm just telling y'all, Walter Yates, y'all gonna leave Mike Lenoir alone. Mike Lenoir gonna be somebody. I don't care what y'all say.
he said, I don't care what y'all say.
I don't care what y'all saying over there. Mike Lenoir gonna make some. He gonna play some basketball for somebody. With that, the way he is right now, cause them teams gonna say, "Look, dude, he keeps coming, and he keeps coming, and he seemed like a joy to be around." And they talking about Marcus King. Marcus King is not a point guard. Marcus King tried to shoot up every damn thing he could touch. I'm sorry, I didn't mean for y'all to laugh in the background. Barry McDonald. So this young man, he said Chris Paul, Jason Kidd. Listen to me. I haven't heard a kid come on this show. Mike, you the first guard came on this show that you referenced those two guys, Jason Kidd. And Alex Pugh, I think, mentioned Ricky Rubio. But you didn't mention him. Hold up. You mentioned Steve Nash, two-time MVP, Steve Nash. Most young guys don't even mention Steve Nash, Jimmy. Especially young black guys.
They're not students of the game. That's why. They don't. It's a basketball. It's a difference between people who play basketball and basketball players. I feel like I'm a basketball player. I study the game. It's like I take the details out from all those type of guys that play the point guard. They master the game. So how can I not learn from somebody who mastered the game? Like, it's the definition of a real point guard is not a lot of these guys who they think play point guard. They just in that position. Like, they just in that position. But like I said, I don't know. People look at the game different. I look at the game different. I can go play. I can have 5 points and 15 assists, and we win. I'm happy. We won. Like, or I can stole 2 points. I had 18 assists. I'm happy.
And Mike, you are a state champion, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you're a champion. Okay. So, you know, some of these people don't want to talk to you unless you got a ring. You know, you ain't nothing unless you don't won a championship. You got a ring. Okay. Keep going, Mike.
Yeah, I know how to win. That's the main thing. I know how to win.
Mike, I'm sitting there watching your league. I'm watching your website on your league right now. I'm watching it.
Yeah.
I'm watching it. Mike, hold up, Mike. Hold up, I ain't seen you yet on the video, Mike. They should be pushing you on here, Mike. I'm just messing with you, baby. But hey, man, I'm proud of you, young fella.
Mike, which grassroots program that you play with when you grew up in Dallas, and also what public school would you have been zoned to had you not or before Faith Family?
Grassroots program, AU. The last team I played was Dallas Showtime. And if I hadn't went to Faith Family, the school that I was at before was DeSoto. So that's what it was.
So what made did you ever go to DeSoto in the 90s?
Yeah, I went to DeSoto.
That's what I figured. So what made you transfer on over?
It wasn't the place for me. I feel like by me being at DeSoto, I couldn't really be me. Like, all due respect to Coach Dyer and the program, but it just wasn't for me. I wasn't that type of player. Like, I can't put it in no other words. It's just the situation from Faith Family and DeSoto was totally different, you know. So, and I feel like Faith Family, it fitted me better. It really did. So that's why I went there.
What did you learn from? What's your biggest takeaway from the Dallas Showtime and Big E in that program? What did that do for you?
They looked out. Matter of fact, they're one of the many reasons why I connected with Coach Mathis and the CYM program. So big shouts out to Big E for sure.
That's my man now.
Absolutely.
You know I'm gonna call Big E and ask him about you now.
Yeah, he gonna tell you I can play.
And we want to, speaking of the Faith Family program, I have a comment for you. Say, tell Mike we are all watching and supports him. He has a great work ethic and a great support system. His heart and his ambition will allow him to be successful in life no matter what comes his way. That is from Brandon Thomas. And
for sure.
He's the head coach at Faith Family.
Oh yeah.
And they're watching right now. So
yeah.
what did you get from your time at Faith Family?
Faith Family, first off, I was at DeSoto, which was a 6A, a big school, big public school, well known, to Faith Family, to something that I didn't know about. So by me going to Faith Family, it taught me how to, cope and adapt to my environment. It was a smaller school. It was 4A. It was really one of the schools or something like that I had never seen before, but it made me cherish it more. It made me lock in more on basketball and my grades and my schoolwork. So that's the biggest take I got from it, was learn how to cope and adapt to any situation that you put in. So I just want to give a big thanks up to Coach Brandon Thomas for giving me a chance to, showcase my talent, help them win the state championship. Big ups to my teammates. I just want to shout out everybody at Faith Family, the whole staff, everybody. They showed major love when I came.
Jimmy, I'm sitting up here thinking about something. As long as we've been on this Chop Shop and had this platform for 4 years, we never encountered this situation right here, and it's a unique situation. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna make some calls. I'm gotta make some calls, and I just want to see on your behalf. And I would like to see you have a shot, and that's all you're asking for. A chance. I'm a 5'11" guard. Who's gonna take a chance with me? If I'm not one of the 60 that's get drafted, could I be one of the guys that just come to camp? If I'm not one of those guys, could I be on your G League team and make that $35,000 a year? Could I do that? If not, the pandemic clear up, I can go overseas, because over in Turkey, in some of them leagues, they starting up. Some of the leagues they starting up, but I don't know about Australia yet. But and that's the advice. I mean, you on here and you're talking you're talking about your dream. Mike, I didn't have no idea when I woke up this morning this is what I was going to talk about today. We had a whole lot of stuff to talk about, but this is important because, Mike, it's another kid might be out there thinking like you. Mike, we got kids here. I mean, they got the rule change in a couple of years. Kids should be able to come straight out of high school into the league. So you just a few years ahead of time, man. You just say, I'm gonna try it now. So and guess what? It's not the end of the world. Not the end of the world if you don't, because you're young. And you got your head on your shoulder, man. Hey, do your thing, young man. If you need my help, chopshophtx@gmail. I know somebody or know you that's on the Facebook feed. chopshophtx@gmail.com. Okay, you got
Yes,
it.
sir. Yes, sir.
And,
All right.
Yeah, and before we land the plane, I want to reiterate and just get your thought on something else again. I want to confirm, because sometimes, a lot of times, most of the time, when people put their name into the NBA draft, there are some that hope to get drafted, and there's some that expect to be drafted. And in both scenarios, you mentioned you shared your whys. In your scenario, do you expect to be drafted, or you hoping to be drafted? At this point, based on because there's no physical workouts, and which the hand that you're dealt to play this game with, the game of life.
I expect to be drafted.
Okay, so that means if no draft in those 60 picks, then that becomes the disappointment, because you mentioned your plan B was G League. If the international borders aren't opened up, so that means that's the direction. If you're not drafted,
Yeah, it's no disappointment to me. Not at all. There's no disappointment at all. I'm not gonna hang my head at all.
Okay.
Like Mr. Rob said there, like, I'm young. I'm still young. I'm 19 years old. That's another reason why I threw my name in the draft. The younger you are, the better it is. They might take a chance. So I feel like even if I don't get drafted, I'm still good. I'm not gonna hang my head at all, even though that's what I expect to happen. But I know who I am. I'm not gonna compromise for nobody. I know my worth. So I'm I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep grinding. It is what it is.
And last, do you have a timetable on the years? Let's say, like in the plan B, and you have the plan C. Have you derived a timetable on how long you would give yourself to advance? Let's say you go overseas, or you go G League, if not drafted, and you pursue this NBA. Then you have to find yourself in the next repeating, rinse, wash, and repeat again for the next year. Then let's say if it goes 3 years. Is there a timetable in your mind that you say, you know what, I'm gonna give myself 5 years, 10 years, 7 years, 6 years? Because you get older now, they don't want you when you get too old.
Yeah, of course I'm shooting for a goal to get there before a certain time, but no one really truly genuinely knows what the timetable is, when it's going to happen. So all I can do is keep working from up to that point. And when that point comes to where you finally know, like, it happened or it don't happen, then you know how to move and how to adjust. But at the same time, you never really know. But of course, I want to get there in a certain time. I want to get there this year if I can. I want to get there next year if I can. I want to get there the year after that. I don't want to keep waiting at all. That's my dream. That's where I want to go.
Hey, Mike, I got a question for you, Mike, and I can't believe I did not ask this earlier, Mike. You got me so intrigued with you, I forgot to ask you. Have you left, or will you be leaving any college offers on the table? David Azor asked you that. He came off the Facebook feed. He said, do you have some college offers that you would be leaving on the table?
Yeah, I didn't really have no college offers on the table that I left on the table because I pursued my professional career, playing in the TBL. So yeah.
Right. No, I'm talking about when you were in high school. When I
was in high school, I wasn't highly recruited at all. That's why I went to prep school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, man, we are at that time.
Man,
Mike, any last words
Mm-hmm.
that you have, and last thoughts that you have for people out there that are watching right now, and you follow your dream. And also, go ahead.
Yeah. No, go ahead. You finish. I'll talk after you.
And also, you gonna let us know we would be remiss if you did not take out time showing y'all being a point guard now. Point guard, you got to make sure everybody eat now.
Yeah, for sure.
You had a crew sitting behind you the whole show. And you
Yeah.
gave them a shout out now time.
Yeah, Mike.
The point guard now.
That's what I'm waiting for the end of the show to make sure y'all know.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but I want to give a big salute to all my teammates back here. Got everybody coming to camera, stand up.
And they bigger than you, Mike.
Yeah, look. Hey, that's the thing. That's how the TBL look. I'm just surrounded around trees the whole time. So look, it's my man Marcus right here. He a baller. He got his own business going too with the camera stuff. My man Jesse. My man Josh.
Say this whole name. Say that whole name.
Yeah, give me man whole name.
My man Josh Crawford, Jesse Williams. This man right here is from Algeria. His name is Abdenazar.
Who?
This is his name.
I leave that one alone. I'm gonna leave that one alone.
He gotta have a nickname. Shit, I give him a nickname.
This right here is my wingman Jared Henson, and this right here is my pick and pop master. They got me most of my assists. His name is Balsa Bosvic. He's from Serbia.
Man, y'all made my day, man.
And then, as you know, got my Coach Matt, and my Doc, Miss Sherry. She the operation that run everything.
Miss Sherry, I can tell Miss Sherry to run. Miss Sherry running everything over there.
Say, he got
Jimmy, look, Jimmy, you can tell Jimmy, that's how them NBA athletes act. They carry a gallon of water with them, Jimmy. That's how pro athletes act, Jimmy. I'm telling you.
But the Chop Shop is your midday sports happy hour. I'm about to go get me a gallon of some other kind of water. I'm gonna go get.
Oh my God!
I'm gonna tell you, you got 2 years before you even think about that. You 19.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you right now, because guess what? Them Houston Rockets about to come on in less than an hour, and they Rockets versus OKC. OKC starts one of your Dallas natives, Terrence Ferguson, T. Ferg, over there. And break down who's gonna win this OKC Houston game coming up at today at 3.
Watch yourself now, Mike.
I'm gonna tell you like this. Houston been playing real good. They knock down shots. I feel like this. They go as far as James Harden go. He the engine. So look, if James Harden let the dude from OKC stop him and lock him up, well, he didn't get locked up, but he got held to what he usually get. You know, he usually go for 40, 50 every game. He do numbers. But old boy slowed him down a little bit, so they slowed the team down, and they go as he go. Now, I'm going to tell you like this. Chris Paul, he the point guard. If he cut the head off the snake early with James Harden and they make sure all that stop, it's going to be a whole nother ball game.
Mike,
So
Mike, you just lost me. Mike, you had me, Mike. Mike, hold on, Mike. How can you hold a dude down that got 40? James had 39 or 40. So
but
hold on, Mike.
That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you. Look, he had 39 to 40, but it was a hard 39 to 40.
At the end of the game.
At the end.
I got a question. Help me out with Mike. Help me out with this, Mike. How do you be an NBA player? You got 96 pounds of tennis shoes you done shipped down there with you. And you don't know you got a damn timeout to take a timeout and throw the ball and just throw the ball inbound and lose the damn game. We didn't get a chance to talk about that today. Mike, explain that to me, Mike.
That's what I told. That's what I'm telling y'all. The point guard, James Harden, he run everything. So
No. This wasn't James Harden. Don't blame James. This was PJ Tucker.
That's not the blame, but I'm telling you, that's how the Rocket teams is. Who they look to when it's time to go get something? Here, James. Who they look to make all the decisions? Here, James. Right? Yeah. So if he not running it or if he ain't in the middle of everything, they lost. Like, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? Like, and PJ Tucker, I mean, like you said, you in the NBA, you supposed to know this type of stuff. Hey, I don't know. No. I can't speak for nobody else.
Why you gonna take Mike. That's why you gonna take one of them job. That's why you gonna take one of them job.
I feel you on that one. That's what I'm going for sure. I'm telling you, got to.
Jimmy, get us out of here, Jimmy.
Boy, you sit there. I might need 3 drinks now. All of those blue cups and got empty over here. I don't know what to say. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dramatize and get ready to land this plane, guys. But anyway, sorry for the guys. We didn't get to talk about Rucker on Wood today. We would push that to tomorrow, and we would come back and we would recap all on Rucker on Wood. Meanwhile, myself and Doug Jones both penciled a detailed recap of the championship games from yesterday, and that is posted on our website, rcssports.com. That's rcssports.com. You can go check that out in the VIP news of that. Now, don't forget, Rock on Wood will continue this coming Sunday for the class of 2022 and 2021. Those 2 classes will be this Sunday afternoon. And also, hey, Mike, definitely, man, we are proud of your ambition, and we're proud that, hey, just like the school faith family, I see you have faith in your family, and likewise, keep it. Those guys is behind you, and this is how you guys are creating lifelong relationships. And lastly, I want to give you a nugget that you can follow through with, and maybe it can serve as more ambition and motivation for you. I want you to go and look up a name, and not just you, but everybody over there on your team. Look up this name when you leave. And this guy here is from the state of Texas. He was in a position, not necessarily like yours, but entering the NBA draft parallel. not the road you traveled, but he did not play on the sneaker team. He did not, but nobody knew who he was. His name is Ronnie Price. Look up Ronnie Price. And when you look up Ronnie Price, then next time we talk and we meet, maybe you'll be able to share that story and look up as much as you can and look at how many years Ronnie Price, how he got into the league and how long he lasted in the league. And it will surely give you probably some more motivation. Ronnie Price.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
He's from H-Town.
Yeah.
And so, and seriously. So with that being said, I want to thank you, Mike Lenoir, guys, with the convo. You can, if you tuned in late, you guys can go back and watch the show in its entirety or scroll to whatever point of emphasis that you may have on our YouTube or Facebook. Chop Shop HTX is both of our handles. Share our show. Follow our page. Subscribe to our YouTube page. It's free.
Mike, hold up, Jimmy, stop. Mike, your whole team, go to Chop Shop and subscribe to our YouTube page as soon as possible. Go to YouTube and subscribe to it. The whole team. I want to see all of them names up there today, Jimmy. Thank you, Jimmy, for bringing that up. Okay, keep going, Jimmy.
I'm gonna make sure I got y'all. I'm gonna subscribe too. I got you.
My point guard got me.
Yes, yeah. And what it does is it lets you know whenever we're coming on, and we have different types of conversations. And trust me, you'll see why we are dubbed as the Midday Sports Happy Hour, the best 120 minutes of your day. And this is some good stuff. We entertain a lot of topics that they wouldn't dare entertain in mainstream media because a lot of those people have bosses. So that's the thing about the Chop Shop. And so if something that, once again, if something that's interesting going on, one of your teammates, whenever the I guess the dream presents itself for them guys and want to take a turn, let us know and we get one of them on and talk about their journey as well. This is not limited. It's wide open. But meanwhile, guys, once again, we thank so much for everybody from watching the show. Thanks to everybody who shared the show. And we will be back on tomorrow in 22 hours. But right now, it's time to slide on down Dino's back and yabba dabba do this thing for these months on the Chop Shop. We'll see you guys in 22 hours on behalf of Robin Haller. This Jim Hicks. Twist my old head to the side now.
We out, baby. Thank you.
Peace. Chop Shop.
We out.
Appreciate it.
Jim Hicks. Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop.